Smith & Wesson Model 637 Performance Center 38 Special. So let's talk a little bit about the Model 637 Performance Center, and then we'll get a little range time in with it. We'll be right back. All right, Smith & Wesson Performance Center 637-2. It is a stainless steel cylinder, a stainless steel barrel, and an aluminum frame. So that means that this gun is pretty light. In fact, let's find out just how light this gun is. And the gun by itself is 14.3 ounces. Yes, that's light. And if we put 5 rounds of 125 grain ammunition on it, we're still only at 16.6 ounces. Yes, that's a light gun. And of course, the fact that it's so light makes it great for concealed carry. Makes it really good for pocket carry. In a holster, of course, I wouldn't carry any kind of firearm in a pocket without being in a holster. But it is light. And surprisingly, the recoil is not too bad with it. You'll see when we roll some of the range footage that even shooting 158 grain normal ammunition, that this does not recoil objectionably. This gun is rated for plus P 38 Special. We did not put any plus P ammunition through it. I'm not big on beating my gun up a lot. I do have some plus P ammunition for it. And the problem with that, of course, is that right now with ammunition being so difficult to get, we don't have much to go around, so we didn't run any through it. We ran 158 grain round nose lead, kind of the standard 38 load. We also ran 148 grain wad cutters through it, and surprisingly, this little gun works well. And you know that we do everything double action, not single action. This gun is capable of both, and the double action pull on this comes out to just over 9.5 pounds, and it's smooth. It's really, really nice. No work needs to be done at all on this gun to make it work. It feels lighter than the 9.5 pounds it comes in at. What's really surprising, not that I would ever shoot this single action, but the single action trigger on this is less than 1 pound. In fact, there's more tension on the actual release of the trigger than there is on pressing the trigger itself. So, great little Performance Center gun. 5 shots. Does not have a recessed cylinder, but again, it's a serviceable gun. Nicely figured wooden grips on it. I haven't found any reason to have to change the grips on this. It grips well. I can even get my hand on it, my little finger, and still get a good high grip. And this gun feels good in the hand. The worst part about this gun, the sights. It has just a channel for a rear sight, and of course your typical blade front sight, which of course is stainless steel because it's on a stainless steel barrel. See if I can get a sight picture. This is what you're looking at. And granted, you'd be focusing on the front sight, not the rear, but there's not much to look at there. And of course, they're not adjustable at all. See if I can get a black background in there to give you a better idea of what it might be. See, there's just not much at all to look at. Since this is one of the Smith & Wesson's newer J-frames, it does, of course, have the lock on it. Not a big fan of the lock. I prefer the original style, but I take what you can get these days. Also has a different contour on the cylinder release than the originals do. And you'll notice, again, that this one does not have a firing pin mounted on the hammer. It has a firing pin in the frame itself, which is, of course, different than the originals. So an original Smith with a firing pin mounted on the hammer would be more like this. I've got a Model 38 that I bought back in the 70s that I'll be doing a video on at some point that has the hammer mounted firing pin. I did mention holsters. I mentioned pocket carry for this gun, and if it's carried in the pocket, you do need a pocket holster, but it also works in a variety of others. I've got some holsters that I made way back in the 70s, 80s. that still work very well with it. And it'll even work inside the waistband Kydex, although a nice gun like this really deserves a leather holster, not Kydex. And because it's a J-frame, you can get a variety of different grips. The Performance Center one comes with these nice wooden grips. You can also get a shorter, what they call a boot grip. Of course, you can get the rubberized grips that has Smith & Wesson logo. Came on this model 60, and I believe these are made by Pacmar, if memory serves me correctly. And you can even get a rubberized boot type grip. So a lot of different options available for the Smith & Wesson J-frame guns. And of course, it's because it's a Performance Center. The trigger, as I already mentioned earlier, is really, really nice, smoother than what you're going to get on most of the non-Performance Center or regular guns. However, this little gun does reach out to 50 yards. If I do my part, even though the gun shoots a little high, you'll see that in the some of the footage that we roll here. We did our initial testing on it on a 3-inch bullseye at 10 yards. Normally we do 15, but because this is a short barrel pocket gun, I said to heck with it, we did 10 yards. But even at 10 yards with 158 grain and shooting a little high, the 148 grain, surprisingly, is shooting a little bit loose. Not quite so high. I didn't take that into consideration when I ran the plates the first time. I hit the plates right at the top at the hinge, so the plates didn't move very much at all. Went back and readjusted for that with a few shots, and hit the plates quite well at 12 yards. 25 yards, it did okay, no complaints. I managed to hit the 8-inch plate at 25 yards, and it's not a 50-yard gun, but we stretched it out to 50. Hit the 16-inch plate most of the time, not all the time. Got a 12-inch plate, and we even got the 10-inch plate about half the time. At 50 yards, all double action with a light little gun. So, just a quick look at a 637 pocket gun. Oh, by the way, loading options. I didn't mention that. I do have a speed loader for the 5-shot J-frame guns. So you can get your quick 5 rounds in there again if you need to, or speed strips for, now these are 6-round speed strips, so you can put 2 at a time in and still, now we're not loading this gun here, still rip off 2 at a time and still have 1 left if you need it. So there are options that don't make it quite as quick as loading a semi-automatic pistol, but if you ever have to get into more than 5 shots with one of these things, you shouldn't have been there in the first place. Should have called in sick that day. All right, just a quick look at the Smith & Wesson J-frame 637-2 Performance Center snub-nose revolver from Smith & Wesson. If you like these videos, we certainly appreciate a thumbs up. And by the way, we really appreciate our loyal viewers, and we appreciate the fact that you do share these videos. The more you share them, the more YouTube will recognize Riders Range, get us up in the algorithm so we can actually continue to grow the channel. Comments always help. Comments down below on this video. Comments to anything else at info@ridersrange.com. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, click on the notifications bell so you know what's coming up. And that's just a quick look at the 637 Performance Center Smith & Wesson Snub-Nose 38 Special Plus P revolver on Riders Range. Thanks for stopping in.